Now, let's look at how the problem sum types change over from P1 to P2 across P3 and 4 and then up to primary 6. Okay, so name me some of the problem sum types that your child see in P1. There are only two types. There are two types which are more, less than, as well as part whole. More, less than means that, for example, John has 10 stamps, Peter has 2 stamps. So how many more stamps does John have? Yeah. Part whole is like that. John has 10 stamps, Peter has two stamps. So how many do they have in total? Because two parts actually make up into one big whole, and that's called the total. Okay. So in the early years when our children first started school, yeah, for myself, I got 3 girls and 2 of them are in primary 1 and 3. So I can totally relate what they're going through. When they reach P2, in fact, the numbers just get a bit bigger and the problem sum types stay the same. For example, in P1, they learn more, less than, and part whole. In P2, they still learn more, less than, and part whole. Yeah? And the reason is because in this P1 and 2 probably is the early stages and they are given a lot of room to adapt and learn. But at the same time, because it's an increase in the primary level, the difficulty level of the problem sums actually increases just by a bit. Now, what about in primary 3? Yeah? Primary 3 is the time that some children start to be exposed to harder problem sums types like guess and check, working backwards, and others, yeah, and probably same difference. So again, there will be some intro of new topics. So the problem sum types actually increase. At the same time, but not so much because the children are still considered young and they are still given enough time to learn. Now, what about in P4? From my own experience, P3, P4 problem sum types are about the same, just that probably their numbers get a bit bigger and the sentences get longer, because when you compare a P4 to a P3, P4 being older should have a higher sense of maturity to analyze the questions. Yeah. So again, though the problem sums become more challenging, but not to worry, because the problem sums types are almost similar. Like you see guess and check here, you'll still see guess and check here. You see same difference here, you will still see same difference here. You see working backwards here, you'll still see working backwards here. Alright? Yeah. Now, P5 is the part whereby you will hear many parents telling you that, wow, P4, my children are doing very well in maths. They are probably scoring like 80 plus or 90 plus, and when they go to P5, I got a shock of my life. My child's smarts start to drop to 60 plus or 70 plus. Yeah. Okay, and the reason is because from my experience of having coached over 10,000 children, parents, as well as teachers over these 8 years, I realized that when they reach P5, the problem sums actually increase by 2 to 3 times in terms of difficulty level. Okay, so that's why you can see that while this is a very gentle path from P1 to P3 and P4, it's actually an upward steep slope. Yeah, so this is when you start to see more topics like fraction, ratio, percentage coming in, and as well as you still need to hold on to the problem sum types that you learn here, guess and check, same difference, working backwards. You still must hold on to them and make sure that you bring them to P5. At the same time, you also need to learn new topics, as well as being able to juggle topical content as well as problem sums together, and also to solve them fast. And the reason is because the papers became 2 to 3 times more difficult here. Yeah. Now, since the slope is going upwards and it gets steep here, what do you think when our children reach P6 level. Okay? Yeah, probably I'll give you 3 options. One is flat. Probably P5 is the most challenging, so the problem sums in P6 should be the same, except there's new topics. Yeah? Or number 2, because only 9 months for PSLE preparation, so probably the questions are getting just a bit harder, so that our children who are slower here can catch up. Or the difficulty level doesn't stop there, it goes up to number 3. Yeah, I have to write on the label here because there's no space here. Yeah, so which one do you think is more accurate, 1, 2, or 3? Okay, when you ask this question to most parents who have children gone through the P6 period, they will tell you that it's not 1, neither is not 2. Yeah, it's not 2, it's actually 3. Yeah, so this is the part whereby you really need to make sure that your children start to prepare here already. Yeah, do not wait until your child reaches P6, because by then your child will have a lot of things to catch up. Yeah, so in short, something to know: as much as your children are learning topics in school, make sure that your child is picking up and holding on to the problem sum types. Yeah, the problem sum types. Let me write down problem sum types. Problem sum types, and hold on to them until they reach P6.